Career Guides helps you break into high finance careers. Hit the link in the video description below if you're interested in asset management, investment banking, sales and trading, and more. What is going on, people? Welcome back to another video. It's another video where we talk about a given role in the industry. I tell you what the role entails, the responsibilities of people working in these roles, and then at the end of the video I touch on two favorites and two least favorite things of someone who actually works in the role or who has previously worked in the role. Today we are talking about a business manager for the head of investments at an investment bank, specifically within the asset management business. So you've got the people who are managing money, dealing with the investments, the head of investments, so a senior person, and then a business manager who works closely or works for that person, the head of investments. With that, let's get straight into the responsibilities that this individual is required to carry out throughout the role. All right, so the business manager is kind of like the right-hand person for the head of investments. They do lots of different things in their role. So if you take on this role, and also you don't need to be too senior to get or to become a business manager, you just need a few years experience. You're going to do things like financial planning and analysis, project management. You're going to be dealing with operations. You're going to be dealing with lots of internal stakeholders and teams from across the floor or across the business. And we're going to talk about some of those responsibilities now. All right, so the first one is strategic planning and execution. So anytime the head of investments or the investment team or people on that side have an idea, or they want to enter a new market, or they want to do something that the business hasn't done before, you're going to be responsible for kind of executing on that. You're going to be required to strategically plan what's the best way to go about making sure their idea comes to fruition. You're going to do a lot of market research. You're going to analyze lots of data. You're going to put all this information together to make sure that the plan is in place to kind of go to market, or to ensure that the project or investments that they want to carry out or enter are feasible, and you're responsible for kind of doing that. All right, next thing, financial analysis and reporting or planning. So the business manager is going to be responsible for managing lots of projects, doing lots of business tasks, making sure things get done from an operational perspective. Now, all these things that are going to be happening, you're going to be working on lots of different things. You're going to be responsible for making sure you report on what's actually happening within these. So some of them are going to progress further than others. Some are going to be progressing slowly. And so you're going to be doing a lot of reporting. You're going to report as the business manager to the head of investments on XYZ project. So that's the reporting side. Also, financial planning. Each project that you're going to be working on, or each idea that the investment team wants to work on, or whatever comes across your table, you're going to need to budget for it. You're going to need to make sure there is a financial plan to make sure it's actually going to happen. You might be responsible for putting together presentations that are going to be used for internal stakeholders or even for external clients. Essentially, you're going to play a part in providing insights on the division or the team or the business's performance from a financial perspective. Next, we've got resource allocation. This one's pretty simple. There's going to be lots of resources ranging from people, employees, headcount, to budget, to lots of other resources that you are going to be responsible for allocating within the business. Specifically, as a business manager who works closely or for the head of investments, you're going to need to make sure there is a good pipeline of professionals ready and available to be employed by the head of investments team if they need to invest, or if they need to employ an investment professional. That's going to be kind of your responsibility to help source that candidate. And so that's going to mean working with recruiters, using your own network to make sure that kind of happens. Before we carry on, are you still applying to jobs with Gmail? If you are, then it might be worth considering Proton Mail. Proton Mail is the world's largest secure email service, trusted by over 100 million customers and companies worldwide. With battle-tested end-to-end encryption, Proton ensures that only you can access your emails. You can start with Proton for free, or you can upgrade to a paid plan for even more advanced features. Check them out using the first link in the video description below. Now let's get back to the video. All right, the next one is project management. We've kind of talked about this already, but essentially you're going to be managing lots of different projects. You're going to work with different cross-functional teams. So within any organization, you know, like in this case, you're the business manager, there's the investment team, there's going to be other teams, operations, risk management, so on and so forth. It means you're going to coordinate cross-functional teams. So in a business like this, there's the head of investments, there's the business manager, there's operations, risk management. You're going to coordinate between all of these teams. You're going to be updating people on different projects, the status of different projects. You're going to work with junior professionals as well as senior leaders. So that's the project management side of it. Okay, regulatory compliance. In banking, there's so many regulations, and as a business manager who's responsible for working with the head of investments and making sure all these projects reach their completion, you're going to need to know everything that's going on from a regulatory perspective, because if you're not up to date on the regulation that applies to everything you're working on, you're going to make lots of mistakes and you're going to do probably 10 times the work that you need to. So you need to keep up to date with what's going on in the industry from a regulatory perspective. When you think of regulation, it doesn't always mean you need to be the expert. You are going to be closely working with the compliance team and the legal teams in order to help you with this aspect of the role. So anything regulatory and compliance, it falls under compliance and legal teams, so you're going to work closely with them. All right, relationship management. Now you might think relationship management or sales or like nurturing relationships is specific to a salesperson. However, as a business manager, it's going to be important for you to build relationships and maintain good relationships, not just externally with clients, but predominantly internally, because you're going to be working with lots of different teams. As previously mentioned, it's important for you to be on good terms with these individuals, nurture those relationships so that you can do your job better. To summarize, the role of business manager for head of investments is to kind of provide comprehensive support to the investment team or to the head of investments, whilst also ensuring that, anything that they need done from an operational perspective is going to be done flawlessly. You play a crucial role in strategic planning, financial analysis, project management and compliance, and you contribute to the bank's success and overall growth by helping the investment teams do their job better. All right, with that, let's dive into the 2 favorites and the 2 least favorites of a friend who used to work in this role. Quick little interruption. It's not a sponsored ad. It's actually exciting news. So last week I launched careerguides.io. Now, Career Guides is basically a platform that offers in-depth, comprehensive career guides on investment banking, asset management, and sales and trading. The next one is going to be hedge funds or private equity, and there's going to be more and more. As well as this, I'm going to be doing a weekly newsletter, the first one coming out next week. It's basically going to be tips, deep dives, interviews, all things related to finance and banking careers that can help you get closer to the industry or in the industry. And so if you're interested in any of this, hit the link in the video description below and check out Career Guides. If you click on that link and scroll to the bottom, you can get a free 24-page guide that's worth £30, and it's a guide on acing your technical high finance interviews. So the guide has 50 questions with model answers for technical interviews. If that's of interest, check it out. And with that, let's get back to the video. All right, first things first, 2 favorite things. I love learning about how senior management develop long-term business strategy. For example, we work closely with teams across Europe, Middle East, and Africa, identifying what would support our business growth in each region and the types of investment solutions they needed. Second one, became more aware of interdependencies between different parts of the business, which made me better at collaborating across teams. When the technology or risk teams change a particular process, then it has downstream impacts on the client and investment teams. So everyone has to be kept in the loop, and the smallest of decisions can require a lot of thought. So you get a lot of exposure, you work on big projects, you work on lots of different projects, and you meet lots of people, which is kind of what you want in any role, right? Also, you get exposure to different teams, which is very useful if you end up not liking this role, because you've got good networks or connections with people in different teams. If you end up liking one of those teams, it will probably be easier to transition or move into some of those different roles. All right, let's talk about the 2 least favorite things. The hours were brutal. Both the duration of hours and the urgency of the work we were doing was intense. So it was emotionally and physically draining. Yeah, if you're working with senior professionals, the head of investments, anything they need is going to be urgent. It's going to have major consequences if done, correctly or incorrectly. So there's a lot of pressure on you. So the role comes with a lot of pressure and long hours. So it's good to be aware of that. And secondly, the other issue was dealing with big egos. While my team were great, dealing with senior people of other teams, because you work with lots of senior people, they can have big egos. They always think that their task or the thing that they want you to do is the most important and should be done immediately, disregarding all your other work. While my team were great, dealing with senior people of other teams who were protective of their own interests and reluctant to embrace change was often quite difficult. So there you have it. It can be quite difficult. You've got to manage those relationships. If you're working with junior people, it might be easier, but you want that exposure to work with senior people, but there might be more pressure people might be more difficult to work with. But there you have it. That's the overview of the business manager for head of investments. This was for within asset management. Let me know what role you want me to do next in a future video. Check out career guides. It will be in the second link in the video description. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.